Hey you guys, so this is your Q&A. Thank you for asking all the questions when I put out the most recent video. In the past I did a Q&A that was live and I felt so bad because I couldn't answer all your questions, so I thought what would be a good way to be able to give them the assurance that if they take the time to ask the question it will be answered. So I gave you a time frame to ask your question within, and if it was asked in that time frame, as long as it was appropriate or not too private or something, I would answer it. So I'm hoping that that worked. Thank you guys for all your questions, and I will be answering all the questions that were within that time frame. So here we go. I'm going to start right off. Alison Day asked, what made you decide to stay in Egypt permanently? I remember at the very start of your travels, I think you said you were only going to be there for a month or so originally. I'm always fascinated to live vicariously through your travels, and I hope you're having a great time. As I answer the questions, I might do a bit of tapping on different items, just because I know you guys obviously like those sounds usually. So, what made me decide to stay in Egypt? Okay, a lot of you might not know this, but I've had a passion for this particular part of the world for years and years, so it's actually not a new thing for me. Part of the reason I came here was because I love this part of the world. In fact, I learned Arabic years ago because I thought one day I might live here, and I happened to marry an Egyptian man years ago, and I am divorced from him now, but I got very accustomed to the Egyptian culture and could speak some of the Egyptian dialect of Arabic because of that. I had actually been wanting to travel to India because I used to live there, and I wanted to visit my students there, and this was during COVID and after I went through a divorce. And I thought I think I probably prefer to live overseas, so I'm going to just go and make some videos make it kind of a fun thing for you guys to get to see some different places. And I was waiting for India to open up after COVID, and it never opened. I mean, it finally has now, but it was not opening anytime soon. But two countries opened that had my interest, and that was Egypt and Morocco. And I chose Egypt because I had already been to Morocco 3 times. And again, I have a history with Egypt, lots of years in the family that's Egyptian, and the food and how to cook it and the language I could get around better. So that's why I specifically came to Egypt in the first place. And when I had been here for about 2 weeks, it hit me like, this is a place I probably would have been prior to getting married. I was in this part of the world, and it's a passion of mine. So I was like, I should consider staying here. I have a huge passion for connecting people from around the world, helping us to maybe understand each other better. And I can get into that a bit more later in some of the other questions, but generally I just kind of realised oh my gosh, I love it here. And I just kind of stayed a bit longer and a bit longer, a bit longer. And I kind of developed a plan in my head, okay, I think this is actually what I would want to do for the long term. I want to be here for the longest term I possibly can. I would like to live here for my life if possible. So I decided to start setting up the stones to make that happen. And so far, things are working for that to happen. Who knows what could happen, but it's been 2 years now. And yeah, that's a bit of a longer answer. I'm going to try to be a bit more concise most of the time, but a lot of you ask that. And I think it gives a good foundation for, why are you in Egypt? Okay, the next question is by Angelina Wu. were there ever times where your identity almost got exposed? If it was suddenly revealed, how do you think that may impact your life? I've been watching your videos for many years and you've always helped me with my insomnia. I'm really glad that's helped, Angelina. Thank you so much for being here for so long. It means a lot. Yes, there's lots of times that I accidentally exposed my identity. Not too long ago, I accidentally showed my entire name on the channel on a package, and a lot of you told me, and it was quite funny because, I kid you not, the day that happened, I was waking up at 5 a.m, which I usually don't wake up that early. I had just posted the video that had this exposure in it, like maybe 4 hours before that. I don't know, not long before that. And I woke up early because I was going to the passport office to change my name, my last name. Not my first name, just my last name. So it was kind of funny. It's because I had gone through divorce and I was going back to my maiden name. So the name that you guys happened to see that day, thank God, was not actually correct as of the following day. So like my name had legally been changed at like Social Security, but it was the day I was changing it with my passport, and I just thought that was really funny. Yeah, so that did actually happen. A lot of you actually know my first name now, but thank you for not sharing that with everyone. One time I showed my face accidentally. A few times I showed my face accidentally because I didn't cut out a part I was supposed to. But one time, years ago, again, this is kind of amazing now that I think of it. It's the exact first day I allowed comments on a video, okay? I had turned my face around because I was playing with my own hair, and I like turned my face around towards the camera to like fix something and fully didn't edit it out. I showed my whole face. Just hello, hi. And thank God it was a video that had comments on, because prior to that I never allowed comments. In the beginning of my channel, I just didn't have any comments on, and yeah, so saw my whole face. But thank God I actually got to edit that out quite quickly. I just took it down real quick, edited it out, and then put it back up. But if it was exposed in a way that I couldn't have like changed quickly, honestly at this point I don't think it would impact my life very much. But I just would really prefer not to have anyone know who I am. So and I have lots of reasons for that, but that's not the question. So next question, Superior Snake. Do you ever find yourself slipping into your ASMR accent in your day-to-day life? Love your content. I've been a watcher for a long time. Thank you very much. So if you don't know, this is not my real accent. I'm American and I'm doing a British accent. There's more questions on that later, so I'll get to those. But no, I've never like slipped into the accent unless because I'm very playful, so I break into different accents all the time. So in that sense, yes, I've broken into an accent, but purposefully. So no, actually haven't. Maybe one. I don't know, maybe like a phrase comes out here or there. Okay, Lila or Lila, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Does your ASMR accent come naturally while filming, or do you find it difficult to keep it up? I love your whispered rambles so much, so relaxing, and your voice is just wonderful to listen to. Thank you for all the amazing content. It's so sweet, thank you. You know, it comes really naturally at this point. Probably in the beginning, maybe I had to think about it, but it's really natural now. So I just start talking and it just comes out. The Queen 284 asks, are you still good friends with Sarah? I haven't seen a collab in a while, nor has she been posting much of late. Oh, that's sweet that you've kept up with her. Okay, I'll say this. So many things changed in her life and we haven't gotten to stay in touch because of that, like different place, different everything. So unfortunately, we're not in touch anymore in the sense of like, yeah, we can't do videos anymore, and we really actually aren't as connected, sadly. But we will always be important to each other, and that stage of our lives together was really amazing and a really like huge blessing to both of us. So yeah, sadly we don't see each other. We're in different places, different things, lots of things changed, like literally everything changed for us. So okay, And I wish she was still posting because she has the best videos. Like, actually, she literally, some of my, I still fall asleep to her videos almost every other night. Okay. And also, how do you answer those asking you about your profession in Egypt? If anyone asks me what I do for my job, literally, like, it's weird to say. I don't think I've really ever said my job is ASMR, because I guess I don't really think of it as a job because it's like so fun. I really love it. It feels more like a hobby, but it is what I do for my job. So if someone asked, and it wasn't at first, when I started doing ASMR, I didn't make any money from that. But now I do, and so it has become like my job. So I just tell people I have a YouTube channel. If they ask further, I say it's ASMR, do you know what that is, etc. And I usually don't tell them my channel name. I really like the anonymous aspect. What have you studied in uni or college? I have a bachelor's degree in linguistics, which is the study of language in general. It's not a specific language, it's the study of language in general. Okay, do you attend church in Egypt? Yes. How did you meet your boyfriend? A lot of people ask that. That's the last question. Okay, of the Queen 284. Last question. How did you meet your boyfriend? Okay. Danielle Elliott. Guys, give Danielle a shout out in the comments if you remember this at the end of the video. But this girl is always doing timestamps on the videos, and you're amazing, Danielle. Thank you for doing that, because I have an issue with pain in my hands from typing. So anyway, it's like the sweetest thing. A lot of you do it too. Thank you to everyone who's done timestamps. Danielle's just been doing it for so long, and anyway, thank you, Danielle. So first, how do you feel your ASMR style has changed or evolved over the years? You know, when I started, I thought I was tapping fast, but when I look back at my first videos, I realize I tap faster now. So I think like I'm actually even faster than I was when I started. What else has changed? I guess there's probably, I don't know, like I have lighting now. I have lighting and a mic. But my style is probably pretty similar still. What is your favourite video that you've done, either because you enjoyed the concept or it took a lot of effort and you liked the outcome? My favourite video? I still really love one of the themed videos I did when I first had the channel. My castle theme video, I really loved that one. And I just loved it because of the items in it, and I like castles. I really liked the series doing tap-throughs in the bazaar here in Egypt. I did all the different shops in this outdoor bazaar. I really loved those. You know what I personally really love? I love doing cooking videos, but the ones, if you remember from like maybe 3 years ago, it was like over this marble countertop. It was my friend's countertop, and the videos, they're like cameras above, and I would like show just parts of the cooking process of something, but it was like just ASMR sounds, like the egg cracking and the this and the that. I love those videos. If I had a space that like worked for that better here, I would do more of them. My other favorite videos are all of my donut themed videos, tapping on donuts and candy videos, and my gingerbread house videos. Those are my favorites too. I love Christmas ornament videos. Anyway, I have a lot of favorites, I guess. Okay. Would you ever do a video of your favorite triggers? You're always doing ours. I'd love to see which ones you like. That's really sweet. That is a great idea. I'll try to remember to do that. Next questions are from Delaney D. By the way, I'm answering these in order that they are shown on the channel's comment section, okay? So you should be able to follow me. Hi Villa, just wondering a couple of things. Will you ever discuss your family in terms of siblings, parents, parental figures? Okay, I'm going to answer this more than I ever have before, because I did say I wanted to give you guys more, but I'll probably still be a bit vague. Yes, okay. I'm very, very close with my family. I'm very close with my mum, I'm very close with my dad, and I'm very close with my sibling. So I'll say that. Yeah, what childhood experience do you think shaped you most to who you are today? Ooh, wow. By the way, sorry if you can hear my neighbours. There's like a full hammering session going on downstairs, so I'm having to edit out like hammering, like legit. I'm not joking, it's almost midnight, just hammering. Anyway. I'd have to say it's when I first learned about Jesus, and I was actually a teenager. Did not come from a family that believed in Jesus, that was like were Christians. So yeah, definitely when I first really learned about Jesus as a teenager and started to follow Jesus, none of my family members followed Jesus, so that was definitely changed my life. My family, they were not big fans of that decision initially. So Maria SCH. Okay. How difficult was it to get accustomed to a completely different culture / people? As an introvert, I find your willingness to travel very inspiring. Okay, so I've been traveling for lots of my life, not just traveling, but living in different cultures and being a part of different cultures. It's a big part of my life and who I am. So because of that, it's very comfortable for me to accept and get accustomed to different cultures. It's a joy, it's a pleasure, it's an honor. And yeah, so for me, it's been such a part of my life for so long that I could see that being difficult though if you've never been around a different culture enough for that to it's kind of a beautiful thing, and I really enjoy the process. It can be tiring at times because you mess things up, you do cultural faux pas, etc. But it's mostly just a really beautiful thing to me. I'm also, believe it or not, quite introverted. I fall right in the middle of an extrovert and an introvert when I do tests. I'm like essentially an introverted extrovert. So I get that. I do spend the introverted time that I need, and then I try to go out to connect with people and learn the culture around me. How did you and your partner meet? Oh, you answered that. Who came up with the idea of him starting an ASMR YouTube channel? That was his idea. Actually, shortly after we met, he loved the idea of even just being on having a channel and a creative outlet, and so he actually created a channel which some of you already know about. He's since deleted that channel, but he had a lot of fun being creative with that. He built miniatures, built these miniatures, and I tapped and scratched on some of them anyway. But at some point, as he was helping me with my analytics, and he's really great at that stuff, and he was looking into it for fun, he did that, and helping me with a few ideas, and he was in some videos with me. He just realized he really enjoyed it, and so he's I think, oh, it was this one day he had a fidget spinner, and he's like, babe, you should totally use this in a video. And he set up the mic for me and turned it on. He was practicing so that he could show me how it sounds really good with the mic, and he showed me the video of it, and I was like, that was amazing. I got so many tingles from that. And he had filmed it like a short, I think it was, and so he just right then and there he just made a little channel and put it up just to see what would happen. And it did really well. And it was just random. And he's like, oh, that's kind of fun. Wait, I want to think of another idea. And he came up with another idea. And he put that up. And he put that up. He just kept going. And he realized this is super fun. And so he did. He just did it. Okay, where am I? Okay, next question. Oh, this is read more. Is there something else? Oh, wishing you all the best. Thank you, Maria. Nini ASMR. Hi, Nini. Nini's a huge encourager to me in this channel. Okay, she said, I actually came up with another question. Do you ever feel bitter about your videos not getting as many views as many others, especially since you've been doing this for so long? I think you'd deserve so much more. Thanks, Nini. You know, no, I don't feel bitter. Sometimes I do feel like, am I doing something wrong? What am I doing? But I do think there's an element of not showing my face or my identity in that sense, that I have noticed that one of the biggest things for getting views on YouTube is showing your face. So I think that is a deterrent, or it like makes it a bit more difficult. Or maybe I'm just terrible at ASMR. We don't know. But no, I don't. It's like, I just love doing it, and I feel like, I don't know, I don't really compare it. I just like to do it, and it's so fun. So, but yeah, it is kind of funny though. Elise Wong. Hi Villa. I've been a fan of your channel for a few years now, and I would like to know when and why you stopped posting daily. I love that you have more time to do things you like to do every day, but I don't quite remember when you switched to non-daily uploads. So there's a point actually within the last year that I realized I was doing like 2 short videos every day, and I thought to myself, you know what, I think it would be better if I did 1 video long each day or every other day, because you guys seem to really like the longer videos more than the shorter. Like, those are the ones that got more views. It helps you, more time to fall asleep. It also was really nice for me because I could focus in on one theme and really do it well. It's like 10 cell phone cases, a 2-hour video, and like really get into all the nooks and crannies of all the sounds. It was like, so yeah, that's what happened. I was like, I need to try this. I really would like to be doing longer videos, but it's too hard when I'm putting out 2 per day. Even when I was doing 1 per day years ago, still, like, they were still shorter. So I thought I would try that, and it's just been, it's kind of gone better. It's gone better. So I think it was like in the last 8 months maybe that I switched to non-daily, like every other day I tried to do. Leanna Garner. Hi, here are some fun questions. Okay, what time era would you travel back to for a day? Okay, like Pride and Prejudice type times, because I love the clothing. That's the era. What was your very first job? My very first was, which one was very first? I was a delivery boy for a Middle Eastern restaurant, and I did it for 2 weeks because I needed a job for my Christmas break, I think it was. So I called around places to see if I could work for them for like 2 weeks, and the person that said yes was a Middle Eastern restaurant. Of course, my whole life is intertwined with Middle Eastern things. Like, I applied for lots of things, but the place that got back to me, Middle Eastern restaurant. Yeah, and I was the delivery boy for 2 weeks. But I got to learn how they made their delicious garlic sauce in the back, where they make it with like a potato base instead of like a mayonnaise base. Oh, so great. I loved that experience. I say delivery boy instead of delivery girl because it's just like, for that particular company and family, like, that was a boy's job, and I did it. So I was the delivery boy. And I'm trying to remember, I also taught dance. I taught like a class, but I think that was my second job. I taught dance for years, but like, pretty sure the first thing was the Middle Eastern delivery thing. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? 10 years. I hope that I'm still in Egypt, and have a lot of really special friendships and community here. Yeah. If you could describe yourself as an animal, what would it be? So if I was an animal, guys, I am like a little puppy. I'm like a little dog. I literally get so excited and I jump around, and the people that I love, I'm just like jumping on them and licking their faces essentially. and I'm like very loyal and just like so then the other part of me is like a lion. I've got like two parts of me that are somewhat opposite. I'm also like a lion, like very fairly fierce and bold, brave, I guess, strong, etc. So yeah, I'm like a combination of a dog and a lion. And but if you could describe yourself as an animal, yeah, okay, I think it did. Any other hobbies besides ASMR? I love to dance. I really enjoy cooking, but I don't know that I would call it a hobby. Yeah, dance. I really enjoy studying the Bible, but I also really enjoy studying other religions to understand the depths to which people believe and what they believe and why they believe it, and then having conversations about that. So it's actually, I don't know if it's like a passion of mine, and honestly kind of a hobby. Like I watch YouTube videos about these things. I dig deep into them. Your content makes me happy. Keep being you, Villa. Much love. Thank you. Guys, I'm not even going to be able to edit out all the hammering. I'm really sorry. But you're going to hear some hammering and some movement of furniture. Apparently people are moving their furniture right now. Baked Baker. Do you ever get stressed or overwhelmed with filming your videos? Do you have another job that isn't ASMR? Sorry if that's too personal. No, it's okay. Do you use your Instagram or check direct messages? Love you, Villa. Thank you. I love you too. Do I ever get stressed or overwhelmed? There was a point a year ago when I did feel overwhelmed, so I took a week off because I was like, yep, nope, gotta take a week off. It was the first time I'd ever done that, and I think I've had the channel for like 6+ years. No, I don't typically get stressed or overwhelmed by it. I mean, if I had like no, because you see, like I can kind of have my own pace, and it's not like you guys, I don't know, it's like I'm kind of like in charge of my own business in a sense, you know. I can put out a video and not put out a video, so if things are too crazy then I just won't, so that I'm not too stressed and that I can do a good job at the video, you know. I'm sure there have been a few times where it's like, oh my gosh, I need to get a video filmed, you know, but not too bad. No, I don't have any other job right now. In the past, before I was in Egypt, I did. I had 2 or 3 jobs at any given time, actually, when I had the channel. Only up until probably the last 2.5 years have I actually not had to have another job. But I've had the channel, like I said, for like 6.5 years, so I always had to have multiple jobs. And those jobs were, if you want to know, I was taking care of little ones, like more like, I wouldn't call it really babysitting, because like they would just be with me as if they're my child all day, just going with me in my day, with me in my car at my house, you know. And so, but I did get paid to do that for some of my best friends for their little ones when they were at work, because the other job that I did at the time was photography stuff with my ex-husband, and so that was also flexible. Yeah, so I did those things. I also used to have an Etsy shop that I did for a while. I tried to make a job out of that, and that did not work. Long term, I couldn't make enough to like sustain the cost of the artwork, supplies, etc. Okay, do I use Instagram or check direct? Okay, I use my Instagram. I have an ASMRVilla fam, it's called, Instagram page. I post very infrequently. I apologize. That is because of my hand injury. There's like only so much I can do every day with the amount of typing, uploading, anything with the phone. And I just can't always get to that because I have to post a video or email you guys back about custom videos or be on Patreon with you guys, writing back to you, etc. So, and just like family members, this, that, and everything all day. Direct messages, you know, I always write back to you if you're on Patreon with me. Sometimes I'm very slow at it because of what I just said, but I always write back. If I haven't, it'd be a blip in the system. Like I always wrote back. So yeah, if you want to do that, that's a one way that I can really connect with you guys better, and it's like more consistent because it's a smaller group. Patreon, which there's always a link to below. Okay, I've got another item to mess around with here. Next question is by Howl. Number 1, obviously it's super amazing to see ASMR become more accepted throughout social media. Are there certain aspects that you wish were portrayed differently or things you see as improvements? The only thing that comes to my mind is that I still have some family members and probably friends too that when I said I do ASMR that they think it's a sexual thing, and that's frustrating, you know, and then they're like, that's a sexual thing. I'm like, no, it's really not. So I would say the thing that, you know, maybe if someone is just naturally a sexy person, okay, that's the thing, they're sexy, okay, no problem. But when sex is used to sell an ASMR channel, that is kind of a bummer, because it kind of just feeds that narrative that it's a sexual thing when it really isn't. So that I think could be maybe worked on. Number 2, also not really a question, but would you consider doing more cooking, baking videos, please? Yes, I will. Shyla Martin says, hi Villa, I'm wondering if there are any triggers that you particularly enjoy doing, or sounds you personally enjoy the best. You know, I actually really love doing tongue clicking sounds in whispering videos, and a little bit of like tapping with tongue clicking and whispering. I love that. I know most of you guys, that's not your favorite thing, so I only do it once in a while, but I do really enjoy that. And I love scratching too, tapping and scratching. I just really fast, aggressive tapping and scratching with someone talking and telling stories. So I do that part. So I like the storytelling thing. Although I don't think I actually know of any other channels where they're just kind of telling stories and stuff, because I love that, but I don't want to listen to my own stories. I already know them. So if you guys know any other channels that like tell stories, well, whispering and like tapping, scratching fast. Okay, next. Cinnamon buns. It's cinnamon buns, but spelt so cute. That's hilarious. Hi Villa, I have a couple questions. Number 1, how many languages do you speak? Are you learning any more? I consider myself to only speak one language, and that is English, because I'm not fluent in any other languages. However, yes, I do read and write in Arabic, but you guys have seen videos of me reading. I'm like a 3-year-old. No, probably 2. Let's go with 3. Some 2-year-olds can't even speak yet very well, but I was very weak. But in terms of speaking, I'm okay in Arabic, like basic Egyptian Arabic. I can get around and get along on the basics, but I don't consider that fluent by any stretch of the imagination. I also took 4 years of Spanish in school, and I can understand and speak bits of Spanish because of that. I did live in a part of India where a language called Telugu is spoken, and at the time I could speak basic Telugu also, but I've lost that over time. If you could instantly learn any language fluently, what would you pick? Definitely Egyptian Arabic specifically. Not just because I'm in Egypt, but most of the Arabic speaking world understands Egyptian Arabic, while they don't necessarily understand all the other dialects, and the reason is because the movies are often made in Egyptian Arabic, so that dialect is understood the most, and I could communicate with more people that way. Pink Rose. ASMR evokes a number of senses, but one that cannot be portrayed is smell. Imagine how cool that would be. I totally agree. That would be amazing. I've thought of that before too. If you could scent your videos, what would your top 3 scents be? I love this question. Okay, I would match my scents to like the themes as best as possible. But yeah, I would need to have a lemon scent because I love this. I just love lemons. Some kind of like berry, raspberry scent. And then like third, maybe be like some kind of like cinnamon roll. I love the scent of cinnamon rolls cooking. I love that question. Let's see next. Nini ASMR. Oh, this was your second question. Okay. How is your typical day in Egypt? When do you film, edit, and go out, etc.? Do you specifically decide that today I'm going to film a walkthrough video? I'm going to go with a typical day where I don't have any extra plans that day. That would be, I usually wake up around like 11 a.m. and then sometimes the order of events is a bit different each day, but these are the general things that I do in this period of time. So I will often listen to scripture, so I'll listen to the Bible, and I will listen to some Marco Polos, which is an app that my friends and I talk on, and my family members and I talk on, so we send messages back and forth. I'll listen to them as I'm waking up too. I often do some laundry and dishes, have some breakfast, while I watch a part of a show I'm watching on Netflix or something. And then I start replying to YouTube comments and check Gmail, respond to emails I've received from you guys there. Sometimes I'll post something on Patreon or work on an extra Patreon video. Those are the kinds of things. And then after that, I tend to set up for the filming that night. That's when I usually am like, okay, what am I filming? Maybe set it up. Then I go to my dance class, and come back from dance class, eat. Also, I eat all throughout this. I eat like every 2 hours. Seriously, I eat like protein every 2 hours because of an issue I have. But I also just snack a lot and have like bits of things here and there. And then after my dance class, I eat again, and then I film. And I usually speak with my boyfriend throughout the day many times on FaceTime, and maybe a family member here and there as well. My best friends and I literally talk every day on Marco Polo, so we're catching up. It's like a play-by-play with them. That's my general day. And then the outliers would be like, okay, I'm going out to see my boyfriend, and I are going on a date, we're walking somewhere together with his family or something, or I'm seeing a friend and we're going to walk around and go to some stores together, etc. And then throughout the day, sitting down and just being with God and sitting with him and listening, asking, things like that. Next, your left eyebrow. That's the name, your left eyebrow. That's hilarious. Hi Villa, I'm not sure if this question has been asked, but what's your current most favorite trigger tingle thing? P.S. Love your ASMR and ASMR MN. That's really sweet. I'm so glad that you like his ASMR too. That's my boyfriend's channel that he started recently, and I've been sharing as much as I can. I love his style. He's more fast than I am, actually. So I'll try to link him below. ASMR MN is his channel. And my favorite trigger right now, anything that's whispering. I think I said it before, but it's sort of similar. Whispering, tapping or scratching fast, and storytelling that I can follow. HM Juliana, hey Villa, I hope you've been well. Thank you. I hope you've been well too. I love your channel so much, and you're my first touch with ASMR. Really? That's so cool. Wow. Thanks for putting so much effort in this and allowing us to enjoy watching as much as you do. Watching as much as you enjoy doing it. I'm from Brazil. That's so cool. So I wanted to ask you how it is to know something you do reaches so many different people in such different places on Earth. It's one of the greatest things to me. I love that I'm holding this at the moment. I say it's a world map. I've said it before, I've said it again. I just love getting to know people from different countries. I love the interaction of humans from different places and connecting with each other and understanding each other, and just the baseline of us all being so similar. Human beings, just wow, the same. So that makes me so happy. I've done so many videos where I've said please put the flag of your home country in the comment section. It's one of my favorite things about this. Great question. David says, a bit random, but as a student I always enjoy hearing college college/school stories, funny or any memories you want to talk about, crazy projects, etc. LOL. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for doing this, and always making great content. Yeah, that's so sweet. One of my favorite stories from studying in the linguistics degree. I really thought this was fun. We were given a project, and we were given a sheet of paper that had a paragraph written out in an unknown language. It just said language X. We were literally given this paper, and we were like, the project was go try to identify what language this is. Now, you can't use the internet, etc., etc. And I had to just go into like the library and like the archives, the linguistics section with like different languages, and go through and try to study and figure out which language it was. That was my favorite thing. I thought that was like, it was like being a kid in a candy store, and it was crazy fun to me. San, it's probably like the nerdiest college story you've ever heard. That was my favorite thing. San, okay, the other day I was hoping you would do another Q&A. Nice. I wish I could remember all the questions I had. Haha, I do remember a couple. Number one, I remember you mentioned studying linguistics. Did you ever have a job related to this? Or would you be interested in pursuing something related to linguistics? I've had jobs that like were teaching, well, I guess these weren't jobs. They were normally things I did just to help out, but like teaching English or teaching language stuff. So I've done that, just never been like a formal job. I do enjoy the people. I don't love teaching, but I do enjoy the people that I meet through those processes. In different countries I've met and gotten to do English related things. Pursuing something else in linguistics really does help me, just even in language learning here in Egypt, because of the tools I've learned and the sound systems I've learned. But yeah, I don't think I would do anything like too specific with linguistics, but it is generally used in my life quite regularly because of being in a different country and exchanging language and meeting people from different places, etc. Number two, I know that you speak a little bit of Arabic and your boyfriend speaks a little bit of English. Do you find it easy to communicate, or do you sometimes get frustrated? I've noticed that there are some people who can easily communicate with people who speak a different language, and that there are others who aren't able to do this. I definitely belong to the second group. If I don't speak the same language as someone, I feel super awkward and I don't know what to do. I'm assuming you're someone who communicates easily with others based on what I've heard in your videos. I'm super curious how you experience the language barrier in your relationship. Do you ever feel like you're missing out on a level of connection because of this? That's a really good question. When we first met, yes, we definitely had more of a language barrier, and it was often kind of funny, but I do think because of that, there are some times when it is harder to explain like how we're feeling on a deep level, or the cultural connection to why we're feeling what we're feeling, and why we would feel that in the context of our culture. So it's not always just the language barrier. It's often like a cultural thing that we can't understand, and it's like hard to explain. And then with the language barrier on the top, yeah, it can be difficult at times for sure. But at this point in our relationship, I would say it's a lot easier to I wouldn't say language is a barrier. Cultural things, trying to explain those things, cultural nuances, trying to explain things like that can be more difficult. But it's also really beautiful and really funny. Like, honestly, we laugh. I'm so thankful this guy loves to laugh, because I just think it's hilarious when we misunderstand each other. And when people are too serious about it, like it's too much for me. It's funny. We both just laugh at the other one because we're saying things so incorrectly, and it's quite funny. So, number three, if it's not too personal, how did you and your boyfriend meet? Kate already answered that. But yeah, on a dating app. Number four, do you have an idea in mind of where you would be living in the future? Would you want to stay in Egypt indefinitely, or your boyfriend be willing to move with you to the US, or are you just going with the flow? Maybe it's too early to be talking about all this. I'm just super curious. That's so cute. Sorry for all the boyfriend related questions. Haha, I hope you don't mind. No, it's great. The goal would be to live in Egypt for the long term, but maybe be in the US for a couple of years, or here and there for different things that we would need to be taken care of, family members, etc. But what we've talked about is primarily being in Egypt. But yeah, maybe a year or two in the US for some different things. Number 5, I'm not sure if I'm remembering this correctly. And P.S., that's actually because I want to be in Egypt. I really, really want to be in Egypt, and that's why I stayed here. That's why I started kind of building blocks to be able to be here. He would probably prefer to be out of Egypt. Not probably, he would prefer that for several good reasons. But it was something that was really important to me, so we kind of compromised a bit and figured some stuff out with that. Yeah. Number 5, I'm not sure if I'm remembering this correctly, but I think that you mentioned once that your dad did something with music. I believe he wrote some songs. Could have totally mixed up with someone else. If not, I was wondering if you could share something about this. Also curious if you're secretly a music talent yourself besides dancing. Okay, you did remember correctly. You remembered correctly. Yes, my dad is an incredible musician. He's an incredible musician. His specialty, I would say, is guitar, writing music. And yes, he has been, he's done a good amount of very well-known things with that. No, I don't have a secret musical talent, although I think, truth be told, because I've chosen dance as my number one passion, that just like overtakes all artistic things in my life. But I have played guitar and drums, and it comes quite naturally, and I love it. I just don't put in the time and effort as much as I do with dance. So had I focused on those things, I think that I would be quite good at them, but it's just not something like I just pour my heart into dance because I just love it even more. 6. In an old Q&A, you said something in your real accent for the first time. Over the years, I've heard more snippets of you talking with your real accent to keep up with this tradition. I dare you to talk for a little bit with your American accent, if you're comfortable, of course. I'm really looking forward to this Q&A. That's cute. Okay, I love that. Okay, I will answer the next question in not my American accent, my real accent, like how I actually talk. Okay, next question. Here we go. This is Gabriel. Do you ever watch your own ASMR videos to go to sleep? The short answer is no. The long answer is, in the beginning, I did actually a few times. And then I realized I couldn't sleep because I was too focused on what I was doing in the video. Okay, going back. Number 2, who are your favorite ASMR artists? Okay, my favorite ASMR artist, Manx Laura ASMR, that's one of my favorites. And my friend Sarah, who you guys asked about earlier, one of my favorites. I think she changed the name of her channel to Soft Whispers. So if you don't know her channel, I think it's Soft Whispers, and I think you can still like put Sarah afterwards. If you search Soft Whispers Sarah, she'll probably come up. Her voice is just unreal. She's just embodies ASMR in everything she does naturally. I also really love Sarah Rios. And yeah. Okay, do you miss America? I don't. I really, really don't. There are a few things about that are in America that I miss. I don't miss America in and of itself. I've got a lot of questions coming about that topic, so I'll leave that there and answer them more detailed later. Jess Russo. Hi, Jess. Okay, so someone asked about direct messaging and stuff like that. Again, the place I really get to know you guys is truly on Patreon, and that's where I got to know Jess. And I love Jess. I love you, Jess. And I know about her life, like personally, and she knows about mine. I don't know. It's really sweet. Anyway, I've heard her story, and like, anyway, it's just great. Okay, She said, amazing. I'd love to know how you and your boyfriend met, so we know that. What is your sleep schedule like? I know you record a lot of videos during the night, so I'm curious what time you sleep, wake up. Oh yeah, for Nini's question before, I didn't answer what time I go to sleep. Okay, so I usually sleep around 2 a.m. and that is because usually I can film videos better at night because it's dark, it's quieter. It's hard for me to film in the day because I want the sunlight, you know. And like I have to film, I have to like close everything and I have to like make it feel like nighttime. But then if I do that, it's like always nighttime. So I do film at night. Right now it's like 1 a.m. or something. So yeah, 2 a.m. sometimes a little after that, and then I wake up at like 11 or something. Yeah, there was a period of time, you guys, where I slept at like 5 or 6 a.m. And woke up at like, what time did I wake up? Like 2? Anyway, but I was filming at night, you know, but I just decided I need to have some middle ground here. So I'm now doing like about 2 to 10 or 3 to 11, somewhere around that. Okay, and then apart from making videos, what do you do in your free time? I talk with my friends, I talk with my boyfriend, I dance, I watch YouTube videos on a lot of things I'm passionate about and I study them, I read about them, I talk to other people about them, yeah, lots of dancing. Kaylee, hi Villa, what made you get into ASMR? Did you have any specific inspiration or was it just something you enjoyed and wanted to try for yourself? I'm curious to know how you came up with the idea for this channel and maybe the evolution of your ASMR skills and things like that. Okay, so what made me get into it? I was looking for a hair tutorial one day on a certain style and I ran into a video with a girl brushing her hair. I couldn't stop watching it. I got relaxed. I sunk into my chair and was like getting tingles. And I was like, what is this magic? And I had felt it before many times, but I never had seen like a video that made me feel like it. And so I noticed it had the ASMR bit there. So I started researching. I realized, okay, this is a thing. And I started watching it to fall asleep. Mainly I would just watch like and get tingles and just like, wow, felt amazing. I just like sit and it was so relaxing and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the sensation I've gotten before, but like now I can just search for it and find it, because usually it would just have to come up naturally. You couldn't like make it happen, you know, but now you could just watch a video and it was like, what, this is amazing. So I started watching them to fall asleep, and then I was like, at a point in my life I was doing those 2 different jobs and I was like, you know what if I tried a YouTube channel? I love watching ASMR. We had equipment because of doing photo video. This was with my ex-husband. And we had a friend who had a YouTube channel that we just met. She was talking about it a lot and she had a good experience with it overall, although she did have, part of the reason I'm anonymous was because of some bad experiences she had. But that was like when I just decided I'm going to make a video, see what happens. Made a video, it went well, kept putting up videos, and it just kept going. Did I have a specific inspiration? It was just something you enjoyed? Yeah, so it wasn't really, it was just something like I loved watching. So I thought, hey, I think I could do that. And I did think, I was like, maybe at some point this could actually be a supplemental income for us, because we're essentially artists and, is watching little ones on the side. I've always been either teaching dance or doing some artistic thing where you just don't make much. It's like your passion, but you don't make much. One of those people. So I thought, you know what? In the seasons where it's like slow with jobs, maybe this could be something like a supplemental income at some point. Now, it wasn't for a very long time, and I just did it like, I didn't make money probably for like a really long time. And when I even started making money from it, it was like very small. It literally was supplemental, just like very little. But yeah, that's what was my thought process behind it. And the idea, the name is just, I felt like villa is a very relaxing thought, being in a villa, getting a massage in a beautiful space that's kind of chill. And that's how I came up with ASMRVilla. The evolution of my ASMR skills. I don't feel like I have very many skills, but I'm thankful. But thank you for calling them that. I don't know. I think just like learning, like with my mic and like how the lighting, kind of like making it a bit more of the ambiance is better, I think, than it was in the beginning for sure. Maruna Hart asks, hi Villa, do you have any tips for people trying to learn Arabic? Also, are there any language learning apps you can recommend? I love your videos. You're the one ASMR artist I've always come back to. Thank you for the amazing videos. That's really sweet. That means a lot to me. Tips for learning Arabic? Specifically Arabic? Okay, if you're learning formal Arabic, which is called Fusha, it's like the formal in the news, the Quran, like that, you can really learn it in schools, colleges teach it. There's lots of programs and apps, I'm sure. I didn't learn it on an app, so I can't really recommend one. However, most people do not speak formal Arabic. So when you're in country, in Lebanon, in Morocco, in Egypt, in Turkey, in Syria, etc., you're going to be speaking a dialect of Arabic that is completely different from formal Arabic. So with that said, it's actually really difficult to find programs to learn the specific dialects. It's been really difficult for me to find ways to learn Egyptian Arabic, but I found one tool that was amazing. It's a collection of like basically CDs that you can pop in, and it's called the Pimsleur approach. It's like PS. It starts with PS, Pimsleur. I can't even spell the rest of it. Just keep in mind if you're looking it up, it's spelled really weird. Pimsleur starting PS, I believe. And this Pimsleur approach is really good. It's the way that like children learn language, which is the best way to learn if possible. And so I love the way they do it, and I was able to learn the basics of Egyptian Arabic with that program. I think there are like 16 DVDs, CDs, I don't know. You just pop them in your laptop and you can listen, and it's really great. I didn't learn on an app, like I said, and I've searched for apps to learn Egyptian Arabic, and I have not been successful in finding them. So if you find one, please let me know. Yeah, in whatever dialect you're looking into, you might want to look into that specific dialect. But if it's just Arabic, lots of resources out there. And I do recommend the Pimsleur approach. If you can find, I think they have basic Arabic too, formal Arabic, and Egyptian Arabic, and yeah. Okay, next. Maddie, as someone who wants to travel but has nobody to travel with you, how do you work up the courage to travel alone? Did you have any fears or anxiety that came with the lack of knowledge when you were somewhere unfamiliar or going through an unfamiliar process? Love your ASMR, thank you. So, because I started traveling alone when I was quite young, it's kind of second nature to me. And you know, when you try something when you're young, you're not really that afraid. Like, you just try it and do it. And I mean, yeah, so I think it's just become really normal to me and comfortable. I'd say like your age might determine whether it's going to be more difficult. If you are older and you've never done it before, I would expect more anxiety to come along with the unfamiliar things. But if you're younger and you haven't really experienced a lot, like it would actually be probably easier, less stressful. Courage to travel alone, you know, I think part of my personality and my passions, I'm so passionate about it that like this is honest, like I'd be okay if I died doing the thing I'm passionate for, and rather than stay where I am and not do the thing I'm passionate for in order to stay alive. Does that make sense? So that's where I get my courage from, I guess. Did I have any fears or anxieties that came with the lack of knowledge when you were someone unfamiliar? Sure, I mean, there's tons of anxieties and fears that you experience when you're in a new culture all the time. it can be a total mess. If you watch my videos from when I first came to Egypt, I have story after story after story about just messing everything up and being confused. I'd lie down and just cry for a few hours because I was just so overwhelmed. Like tons of, it can be so, literally the breaking point can be you in a grocery store not knowing how to translate the cost of something, like it just builds up because it's just unknown after unknown after unknown. Yes, it can be very overwhelming. It can be depressing because you're alone. But if you're just traveling on a trip like that's short, that's one thing. If you're going to live somewhere and you're alone, that's a whole nother thing. You do have to have perseverance and motivation and reason for being there and community outside of the space, etc. Lots to do with that. So I hope that sort of answers the question. Yeah. Okay, Rachel, I don't know how to pronounce this second word. Ixcaragua. I'm going to leave it at that because I'll butcher it. What is it like as a Christian living in Egypt? I know Egypt has a large population of other religious beliefs, but it is also a significant place in biblical history. Would love your thoughts on this. Oh man, what a great question. Okay, today, living as a Christian in Egypt is probably very, very different than it was, of course, in biblical times with all the history here. So much history, biblical history in Egypt from the Old Testament and New Testament, so the Torah and the Injil. Those are different names for those things that I use consistently in the Middle Eastern world for those phrases. Anyway, the Old Testament could be considered the Torah and the Tanakh, but and then here in Egypt I would call the New Testament, it's like the Gospel or the Injil. So being here now as a Christian, for me, because I'm a foreigner, so that's different from the Christians that are living here that are Egyptians. So I'm giving my answer as myself, and it's a very different answer than I think Christians that live here would give. But for me, it's quite thrilling because I'm quite passionate about learning about Islam and what Muslims believe from their perspective, not from, because I've read lots of books, I've learned a lot, and I think it's been really special for me as a Christian living here because I'm able to learn more about Islam from people that really believe it, and that doesn't always mean that they know why they believe what they believe, but they believe what they have, what they believe. But I think something that's really fascinating as a Christian living in Egypt is the ability to ask questions and to learn, if people do know why they believe what they do, or if they don't, if they know where so if you know anything about the Quran, which is the book that Muslims read, and the religion is called Islam. Okay, so if you know anything about the Quran, it references Jesus a lot. In fact, it calls him the Messiah, and that is a very intriguing point to me, and it's a wonderful topic to talk about with my Muslim friends and community. So for me, it's thrilling to get to really, really understand from the inside out what a Muslim believes and why they believe it, or why their culture believes it, or etc. So it's amazing for me. It's not dangerous. I find that people are very, very loving, kind. I also do my part in trying to break down walls where I don't, expose a lot of my body or draw attention to myself. I try to cover my head. I don't have to do those things. I do those because of wanting to be respectful of the culture around me and to connect. And I think it drops some barriers and some walls where conversations are easier to be had, and there's a little more respect, unfortunately. I mean, it's kind of sad, but it gains respect here in a way, and I can have conversations. So yeah, I do my part in trying to build bridges and to break down walls that kind of ruin conversations, I guess. I know Egypt has a large population of other religious beliefs, but there's also a significant place in biblical history. Yeah, like, it's so fascinating that currently, today, the population is probably 80 to 90% Muslim in Egypt, but in the past that was not the case. It's changed over the years in Egypt, the religious beliefs. But if you think about all the way back to the Israelites being set free from the slavery in Egypt, leaving Egypt, but the Israelites were in Egypt all the way from around Joseph's time. So basically, you have Abraham, who had Ishmael and Isaac. So then Isaac had Jacob and Esau, and Jacob, his name changed to Israel, and Israel had 12 sons. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel. One of those is called Joseph, and Joseph is the one you've probably heard about, even if you don't believe the Bible or whatever. You've heard of Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Well, that's Joseph, and he was essentially tossed in a ditch by his 11 brothers and left for dead. But eventually he got out of that situation, ended up in Egypt, and became like the Pharaoh's right-hand man, and took leadership there. His brothers that then were in need of food because of a shortage of food at the time. They came to Egypt, where their brother was now very high up in rank, and he finally revealed to them that he was their brother. He helped them out, etc. The Israelites then, so the family of Joseph, his brothers, all came to live with him in Egypt, and that's when the Israelites, the Jewish people, started living in Egypt, grew in population, grew, ended up as slaves to the Egyptians. And that is when you've probably heard the story of Pharaoh, the leader of Egypt, not letting the people go, and Moses, who rose up to be a leader among the Jewish people, is requesting, please let my people go, let them out of this slavery. Eventually God does all the plagues, and he's like, they get out, essentially. Okay, so they end up, God provides them a way out. It's a long story, I won't go into it, but so then that's when the Israelites, Moses leads the Israelites through the sea parts. You've probably heard the parting of the Red Sea, and they walk through on dry land and exit Egypt. So that's like one of the times where you think of a lot of history in Egypt. Jesus, as a young boy, had to go with his parents to Egypt because where he was living was not safe at the time, and they had to go there for tons of things happen with biblical history. So anyway, it's fascinating and wonderful. Okay, those topics get me really excited. I have to just calm down for a minute. Okay. T. Amel asks, hi Villa, I love your channel. Thank you for what you do. Thank you so much. What was your favorite book as a child? As a child, my favorite book, well, when I was really little, all the Berenstain Bear books, if you're familiar with that. Berenstain Bear books. Loved them. The pictures, the stories, they made my imagination go wild. It was amazing. In like a little bit older, it was the Boxcar Children. If you've ever heard the Boxcar Children, amazing. And then the second question, what are your top 5 favorite books right now? So, not gonna lie, I'm not a reader. It's definitely, of all my things I'm passionate about, it's not that I don't like reading, it's just I love a lot of things more than reading. So it doesn't really happen in terms of like hobby, basically, or things I do for fun. Reading different books. However, you probably have gotten this from what I've already shared, but one of my biggest passions is God and is Jesus the Messiah. So my favorite book by a landslide is the Bible. Love it. I can read that all the time. Learn about it, read it, soak it, process it, everything. Love that. But like honestly, my next books, my favorite books are like, I love children's books. My favorite book besides that would be You Are Special. It's a kid's book by Max Lucado. It's my favorite book. I actually read it for an ASMR video a while ago, years ago. You Are Special by Max Lucado. I also love a book called The Bondage Breaker by someone called Neil Anderson. It's like a deliverance book from years ago, but it was quite eye-opening to me when I came to follow Jesus. So those are some of them. But yeah, I'm not a big reader. It really is like not, and when I say that, it's like I'm not grabbing a book to sit and read like a story or fiction, non-fiction. The only things I like tend to gravitate to are things like topics I'm passionate about. So again, the Bible, or books with like a topic that is like something I'm really craving to know about. So informational, maybe. It's not like I don't sit down to like relax and read a story. Does that make sense? Okay. Linnea Dahlberg. Hi Villa, I hope you're doing well. From a dancer to another dancer, is there any dance style you would love to try or wish you were good at? Ooh, okay. Well, right now I'm like learning belly dancing, and that one I wish I was like, I could kill it at. I wish I was all over that. So yeah, I'm learning it and I'm getting there, but it would be amazing if I could like do all the cool things. What kind of dance do you do, Linnea? By the way, love the A Day in the Life ASMR vlogs. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Those are fun to do. I'm glad you like those. Jamie 12.78. Hey Villa, I used to suffer with a lot of insomnia, but thanks to your videos, I've now been able to sleep consistently through the night. With that being said, what is your favorite part about doing ASMR? Also, your public tour ASMR are always my favorite. I feel like I'm reading that wrong. I've rewatched the Pyramid Tour. Okay, the Pyramid Tours, there you go. In both no talking and soft spoken multiple times. Thank you so much for all your hard work. It's so genuinely appreciated. That's so sweet. Oh, I'm glad you like the pyramid videos. I know there was so much wind up there, but I'm glad you enjoyed that. Okay, I'm sorry you've suffered with insomnia. It's horrible. Yeah, I'm honored to hear that it helps with your sleep. That's amazing. That's amazing. I don't even understand. That's amazing. I'm so thankful for that. Where's my necklace? Has it been in here this whole time? Oh, you guys were probably wondering where that was. I took a break from filming and lost the necklace. My favorite part about doing ASMR is like how creative I can be. I love that, like I can grab donuts and candy and it's like a kid. It's like I'm doing a job I would dream of as a kid. That's what I really love about it. And the fact that it like helps people to sleep, including myself, like that's a huge, I would say, but like insomnia, anxiety and depression, the fact that it helps those things are like on a whole nother tier. I'm just like, that's amazing. I'm so thankful for that, because when I started ASMR, I didn't know it helped with those things. So that's just like a giant cherry on top. I can't even call it that. It's the whole thing. That's amazing. But truly, the thing I love doing about it is the creativity and the colors, color videos, etc. Okay guys, this is going to be my last question for this part, because I can't put it all in one video. It's going to be too long, so I'm going to do parts. But I will get to your questions if they were asked prior to the date that I said. I'm going to get to them. So last one for this video. I'm going to get them out soon too. It won't be like a long time. I'm going to get them out soon. Rue asks, hi Villa, love your ASMR. Have you had experience on the stage, acting, singing, dancing? Okay, great question. Yes. Well, dancing a lot. I've performed a lot. It's been a big part of my life. Singing, yeah, here and there that's happened. That's not my strongest suit, but I've got some abilities. They're just not like honed in and stuff. But yeah, little bits here and there actually. But like mainly like leading like worship songs with like a guitar and singing. So that's not really like on a stage per se. But then also there were a few things when I was younger, because I did some acting and singing, but that's like theatre in like school. It's nothing formal, you know, but I did do that. Any other acting? I feel like I act a lot in dance, but it's not like because it's storytelling, the type of dance I like to do. I think all dancers love that, telling a story through dance and emotions through dance. So there's that, but no, aside from that, no. And two, this is the same ruse question number 2. How did you learn your dialect? I think you're talking about the Arabic dialect that I'm learning. Egyptian Arabic, I think that's what you're referring to. Or are you talking about, oh wait, because you're talking about acting, singing, dancing, you might be saying the dialect like a British accent. How I learned to do a British accent. I'm guessing that might be right. I'm going to go with that. And yes, actually, the first time I ever did a British accent was in a play when I was younger. But the thing is, I don't know how I knew how to do it. It just came. Like, I was just like, oh, I have to do a British accent. And it just came. It probably was really bad. I'm sure it still is really bad. I'm so sorry to all my British friends out there. Forgive me. It's definitely not great. But, yeah, it just came out. I guess I must have heard it in like a movie or something. It was just a natural thing. I've never done anything to like specifically learn it. However, I did sit down with a friend after doing my ASMR videos for some time, and a British friend of mine, and said, can you listen to a few of my videos? Can you just give me any hints for things that I'm like messing up terribly, you know? And he said, his one tip is that, as an American, we tend to say the word, for example, the word started is like you say T. In American English, like we would lose the T, started, and we'd say started, and you get like duh, started. So I was switching into British and a British accent saying started, but it's actually started. So he pointed that out to me, and that was really helpful, just to be less annoying to the ears of people who actually have British accents. So that's it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to stop here. I love you guys so much. You ask amazing questions. These are all like so meaningful and like great questions. I love it, and I've already read through a lot of the other ones too, so I know it's coming, and you guys are just like, I love these questions. Okay, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.